Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry. All right, everybody. So I'm here for like a little bit, and then Bobby will be here for a little bit. I know we're a little early. It's 7:30 slate. I mean, I haven't seen any new news in the last couple of hours, so it's making me a little nervous.
That it's going to be one of those later. The good news is that most of the games start at that 7:30, 8 o'clock,
Yeah, it's good for you. I'm not going to be here, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just better than if they were all at 7 or 10:30.
That's true. That's true.
So more manageable. I think that you have like some really obvious things like I'm not fading Naz Reid. I think that the Charlotte guys are really strong plays. I think Indiana still has some value there. I like the rest of Minnesota as well. But I'm having a hard time, to be honest, getting like way off the board today. And for what it's worth, if you can get up to Luka, I'm playing 2 big lineups. He'll be in one of them. That's sort of my general outlook. But I'm still struggling with exactly who I want because there's no like awesome bottom tier value, but there's a lot of really good, low mid tier values. So getting Luka in, I thought would be a little bit harder, but if I can do it, I'm going to try to do that. How about you with that?
Yeah, I can get to him pretty easily. But like I said, and I talked about this in the video I did. I mean, the value at the time I did it was just kind of like okay. I mean, obviously Naz Reid just kind of changes things. I mean, right. That's a plug and play. Not to mention you could put him in the power forward position. Because there are a couple of really good center plays. You can play Plumlee at 6,000. You could, if you want, you could play Mobley at 6,100. You could play him at forward as well, though. You could play
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner. So that's all the more reason why Naz Reid is just kind of a plug and play. So you could get to, and then like these other kind of like mid range, these other kind of values like Norman Powell, Marcus Morris. I have. They're okay, and I think that if you could use those to get to Luka, that's great. Do you need to go down more? I mean, do you need to play like Covington or like Dennis Smith Jr.? You know what I mean? Like to get to Luka, or can you get away without doing that?
Yeah, I think you can, but I did play a little bit of Dennis Smith Jr. just because if he's going to get minutes, I'm always going to take shots with him, and it's against Houston.
Yeah.
So I have to justify it. Like
I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, but I don't think that you should be trying to build and making sure to get the 3,700 guys in. It's more if you need a little value in some of your lineups, and I do think Dennis Smith Jr., Covington. You have Taurean Prince again. I actually think that the best of the values for tournaments might end up being Luka Garza. Like all you're asking for is foul trouble to Naz Reid, and then Garza should play, would play minutes. Even if Naz Reid plays fully, he doesn't tend to play like even if he plays 32, Garza can still get there at 3K in 16 minutes. And you have a true big in Jokic, which does mean that there could be some stuff there. So I think they're all speculative, the 3K guys, but I think it's worth taking, a little bit of chances. I'm just not going out of my way to prioritize them, but I do have Garza, Dennis Smith Jr., Covington, sort of in a similar tier of if I wanted to spend down, those would be the guys I could use.
I'll tell you the non-Luka lineups that I have. I always like the non-Luka lineups. Those are always like make you look smarter when they come in somehow. I mean, I'll play like the highest price guys I'll play in that lineup is like LaMelo, and then I'm gonna get to guys like then I can maybe take a shot with like Garland, or I like Josh Giddey a little bit today, at 7,500. So it's like that. It's like that question always, whether Giddey plus LaMelo at 16-1 is better than Luka. DSJ, it's the same 16-1 or something like that.
I'll go further with you on that one. One thing I really was trying to consider early on is, there's like you could make an argument for 6 players from Indiana. Okay, you're not going to play all of them in one lineup, but you could play 3 or 4 of them and run it back with Shea as another potential spend up as another way to get different with your build, and that's completely reasonable. I almost did it in my early builds because I'm trying to build these guys from Indiana who I all like, but I don't feel like I want to play like at their prices, like more than 3 of them. But I think if you run it back with Shea, there's no problem. And I think that actually is a really nice little game stack.
I think to answer your question, Sam, too, I think Sengun's is a good low owned play tonight. I mean, when I say low owned, I mean there are better plays at that position. So as a result, he's going to be low owned. And if you want to turn that into kind of a stack of some kind, I mean, you need somebody from Houston. So.
Right, those are the two games I think you're looking at. You're playing either Houston with Charlotte, and I think that Indy and it doesn't scream out play me on the other side with OKC, but we always know you can play Shea or Giddey as a way of getting a nice little build in there. And I actually think that Sengun is completely reasonable for his upside. There is a wide range of outcomes. 7,700. It's not like he's a guy I feel like I didn't go out of my way, but he was in the first lineup I built early. When I was driving this, I probably shouldn't say while I was driving this morning. But it is a little pricey. It is also the best matchup, and this, I think low ownership and the fact that he does have a real ceiling, which we just saw him put up 70. I think that makes him totally reasonable. One thing that's a little weird, I'm not getting to much of the Lakers and Kings today, which feels kind of wrong. Are you getting to that game much at all? Because I think
I was going to say the same thing. It's a big total, but like no one's particularly cheap,
right.
And I wasn't getting that much either. I was getting like some weird. I wanted to play Fox when I was thinking of playing Garland, for example. But I just didn't see who I was going to play him with. I didn't want to play LeBron today. The other guy I'm getting to a little on Sacramento is 4,400 Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
So I like that a little bit, and Monk's always in play at 4,100.
Yeah, and if you wanted to mix things around and you happen to have Murray like in one of your, you can always make a little pivot over to Monk or Murray, either one. I mean, Murray's minutes have been more solidified, but like it's not like he's an extremely active. He's still young, he's just not. He's not going to put up 35 every night.
That's a really good question Rich B has. I don't have the answer. My initial build is to play both of them, Plumlee or Turner. So I'm not sure.
I don't have any Plumlee.
Okay.
But it's not that he's been really good fantasy wise lately, and he does he can do a lot out there. So I don't have any problem with Plumlee. I just didn't end up getting to him personally. Which is weird because like I'm playing a little bit of Walker Kessler, so maybe I should rethink that. Like they're different prices, but they're close enough to where I don't know. I liked Kessler earlier today, and I really think this guy's just got a monster ceiling.
Boy, did he go off the other day?
Yeah, he did a couple times recently. I mean, he's put up 37 or more 3 games in a row. He put up 57 in the last one, and he's 5,400. I think he's a pretty good play. So I guess maybe he and the fact that I have a mild interest in Zubac kept me a little bit away from Plumlee, but I don't mind Plumlee. I do like Turner for what it's worth as a better play, but that's just me, and I have no problem if anybody disagrees. I just happen to like Turner in this matchup.
Yeah.
Lu Dort at 48 feels extremely fair. Doesn't feel like it's good or bad. I don't feel like that's cheap for him at all. The numbers will tell you that's actually not cheap for him. It's one of those, if you find the place and you want to plug him in, go ahead. It's not like I don't think you should be like trying to go out of your way to play Lu Dort. We've had this conversation so many times. It's like you're going to have a couple games a year where he's going to get really. I mean, even the last game, he made 5 out of 7 threes, and he still only put up 32 fantasy points in 35 minutes. It's like you shouldn't be trying to build your lineups around guys like Lu Dort on 9-game slates in general. Steven Adams question, who I also didn't.
I didn't even know Memphis is playing tonight.
Steven Adams, tough matchup, but could mean more minutes. It doesn't necessarily have to mean more minutes because they have their other bigs can match up. It's a tournament play. It's not something I'm doing.
Yeah, I like Rich.
What I feel like Memphis is favored by a lot here. Like this is 8 points to see Cleveland, even without Mitchell, like to be an 8-point dog seems a little bit much. Who's interesting? So that Cleveland thing though, because I think like for me, I'm just going the very basic way. I'm playing one of LeVert or Garland in my lineups. In my Luka one, I'll have LeVert. I'll probably have Garland in the other one because the price gets a little bit tighter. But I think for like large field stuff, I don't think Kevin Love is a bad play. there's some Ricky Rubio talk because he's been getting, he just came back and they're playing him sort of limited minutes. But there's a chance he could have a game here. I mean, all of these guys are kind of interesting to me for Cleveland. I just think Kevin Love is like 4,100. No one will play him. Probably going to end up 15 to 20 range, but like there is a ceiling there. And just with Mitchell out, I just wonder if there's any way, if there's any foul trouble. Maybe I'm talking myself into it a little too much. Mobley and Allen, any foul trouble? Maybe he plays well. Maybe he stays on the court. But yeah, I think I'm just trying to force the Kevin Love thing because I'd like something other than just Garland and LeVert in that game. And Mobley and Allen are fine, but I don't feel the need to play either one. Where do you stand with the LeVert and Garland thing?
I like both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I like both of them. I don't really have a lot of luck, these Cleveland games. They don't score a lot of points usually.
A lot, yeah. I mean, still would have been a lot for any season except for the last 2 years of the NBA. But
right.
Yeah, right. Okay. What's up to everybody out there who we didn't say hello to yet? Yeah, Sheets has got the fancy outfit.
Yeah, I like Viper better, Adam. Thanks.
What was the Viper thing question?
He wants to know favorite spend up between Umti or Dudu.
God, you guys have the stuff that I have no idea what the hell is happening so much of the time.
I like Din Din instead of Dudu. Din Din is better than Dudu tonight.
Do you know who I really like, and I just didn't end up getting a lot of builds, is Edwards.
Okay.
I mean, especially I don't know. I just think that the lane ends up open up more. The offense flows more when there's no Gobert, and he has the lane open, so it tends to make a difference. He tends to play like a little more pseudo point guard type in this matchup. If they're going to stay in the game, you'd imagine they'd need a decent game from him in Denver. So I think he's an interesting tournament play he's like the one name I don't think I mentioned that I'm trying to find a way to get in. But do you think everybody's overplaying these Clippers? Because I feel like they are. Like, yes, Paul George and Kawhi are out. Paul George and Kawhi were out for the first 20 games of the season. We had these same guys who were cheaper. Just kind of funny.
I'm getting a bunch of Norman Powell, Marcus Morris, but it's not like crazy. I mean, and Terrence Mann, but I play those guys anyway.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm looking at even my lineups. I just feel like I don't need to have I feel like their priority should be they should be lower prioritized than all the other value in similar ranges.
Yeah, I've got Yannick. We went over this earlier. Naz Reid is he's in all my lineups currently. I can't imagine him not being in all of them by the end of the day. Wenyen Gabriel, I'm not getting to. Jermaine Monster. Yeah, so that's to answer those questions.
Mm-hmm. Naz Reid will be in all my big buy-in lineups. I promise that.
I got a bunch of PJ Washington. I like that.
You too?
What do you think of speaking of terrible Clipper plays? What about Amir Coffey at 3K?
It's just they have plenty of guys. There's the same situation as always with them. It's really nothing special. Yeah, you don't have Wall also. I guess I forgot to mention before. I think if you're going to make a play for any of the cheap ones, just play Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, he may end up starting, by the way, and where he's being projected for 17 minutes, he may end up playing 35. I think if you're going to spend down and play the Clippers, I think that's the smartest thing to do. I really do.
Yeah. What happened to Reggie Jackson?
He lost the starting job because they were playing better without him starting, but that was with Paul George and Kawhi and John Wall.
I'll tell you this. I mean, if he starts, he's shooting it 50 times.
He's going to shoot plenty. We don't have to worry about that part at least. Kind of like that idea of the Reggie Jackson actually a little bit. I might talk myself into that one. He legitimately may start. And is being treated like there's no way he will. I think he might.
What do you think of boy, this is kind of an odd play to have. I have one lineup in the box out with Troy Brown Jr. It's kind of a weird, random one-off to have.
I mean, he plays minutes with when it's weird. It seems like he plays more minutes. I feel like when everybody plays. I'm not getting to it, but I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world. He's probably going to play 30 minutes. Guys, hit the like button for Sheets' outfit. We got a lot of comments on Sheets looking dressed to the nines over here. So
yeah,
hit the like button.
And just for guys, if you didn't notice already, I'm as I have time to do it, I've been doing these daily kind of like process videos on NHL, and also did a little bit of tennis coverage just for the first couple of days of the Aussie Open. I did a kind of a how to play tennis DFS in general using the tools that we have, but I have to fix the video. I want to timestamp it and then make it look a little nicer before I put it up there. But that's so I'm working.
No, I appreciate it, man. I've had it was a little bit of Wednesdays are always tough for me, but then also I've got this flu on top of it. So sorry I wasn't.
Oh, you don't feel good either?
Oh, it's been terrible. I was throwing up all night. Like it felt like somewhere between like a sinus headache and then like the flu. So just trying to shake it off.
Who's playing pretty nicely? The Alvarado.
Yeah, I have him actually one of my builds right now.
Yeah.
I don't want it. Like I'm trying to find a way around it. I do think and some people are going to play, and I don't think it's like he's not going to be as popular as he was maybe some of the other slates, but like I think some people play Najee Marshall. I think you should include Trey Murphy. He's going to have a wider range of outcomes, but the guy has got like super talent and is not going to get the ownership. He's 49. He's kind of somebody asked about when he Gabriel before. I'm just like, I would just rather play Trey Murphy if that was the decision.
Yeah. So what I'm doing, and this is almost what I do all the time. So I have, I'm playing, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what I consider big lineups, right? So three box outs, one like qualifier, and then the 888, which I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have LaMelo in all of them. Excuse me, not LaMelo. Luka in all of them except for the 888. So we'll see what happens.
Gotcha.
We shall see.
To answer Adam's question about this is the kind of play I think you want to avoid, the Dyson Daniels thing. Like if you're trying to fit in that thinner value, take a shot on Dennis Smith Jr., who, if the game flow goes right, can literally just get there in a quarter because he just has an offensive quarter. Or play Reggie Jackson because he could get his old role back and play 30 minutes. And if he plays 30 minutes, he's probably putting up 30 and without the other three top usage guys on their team. Dyson Daniels has been in the same role every day and has hit 20 fantasy points one time. Okay, you guys can keep doing it, but like, it's just not. I love him I love his future and stuff. He's just not. That's just not his role. And also, they're going to make sure to give Alvarado minutes. So basically, one of those guys is never closing. It's almost always going to be Daniels. It's why it's just hard for me to get to. Like, why am I trying to play 3K something guys with no upside? If I'm going to play the weird 3K plays, use the Dennis Smith Juniors, use the Reggie Jacksons, things like that. I think that's sharper in my opinion.
I've got like 33% Dennis Smith Jr. So,
yeah, I think he would be the guy that makes more sense.
We'll see.
It is a little weird that no one's talked about Terry Rozier. I know his ownership is projected to get some numbers, but like he's like the one guy from Charlotte. We've talked about 5 guys. From Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that no one's really mentioned it. So let me just double check where he's going to be owned because he's not getting much love. I think that he's actually an okay play too.
So I guess we'll do a football video tomorrow. It's crazy. They kept all these prices on the Jaguars and the Giants receivers are still freaking free.
I know. They like to do it in the playoffs.
Have the game script too. I mean, like,
yeah. Yeah, I agree with the LaMelo thing. If I played LaMelo and Reggie Jackson, it's actually I think this is interesting. I think there's a path for this.
Kevin Porter Jr. is out.
Okay, so that's a bump for everybody on back to Şengün and what's his name as being a good play.
Jalen, whatever his name is, right?
Jalen Green, yeah, but I don't think like you have to play these guys anyway. But I do think that they're definitely decent plays. They also have all the other value things, so I'm kind of curious to see where it ranks out. Tate, Martin, and they just eat enough, and Eason all eat enough into each other to where I don't think we have to do anything there. But I think if you wanted to play one of those guys, I think Tari Eason would probably be my favorite, and I think that would be fine. KJ Martin's been good though for what it's worth. I mean, he's put up 29 and 36 the last 2 games, but he's 4,600 now. So
Jashawn Tate.
Where do you?
Jalen Green, man, he loves to shoot.
Yep.
Yes, everybody. I'm not going to be able to update the projections for the Houston News. That's one thing I'm not getting to. So you'll just have to deal with that. It does make that game a lot more stackable.
What?
With Porter out.
Oh yeah. For sure.
I mean, you can play those. Play Sengun. You can play Green. You can play the Jabari Smith, right?
Problem is they've all been there just like in this exact same situation, and the only one to get there was Şengün in the last game.
Oh, and Gordon, he's back though.
Well, Porter Jr. hasn't played.
Okay.
So that's the only problem with that. Sheets, where do you stand with some of these the other indie pieces? No one, the projections not liking Mathurin that much. Although you actually got him more where I would have thought, a little bit higher than Sabersim, but like the Nembhard, like I mean, I've got McConnell in half my lineups. I've got Healed in a good portion of them, and I only have a few. So I guess I've got Mathurin.
Yeah, I got like 20% Healed, and like 15% Nembhard. Like a little bit of Mathurin. I'm just not getting to them as much as as those Clippers.
Yeah. I just think that they're better than the Clippers and with this.
Probably right.
But I mean it is a lot that the Clippers are missing. So I can't but they also do have a ton of guys. They both do.
30 minute out of Amir Coffee game.
You might get it, but is that even good enough?
I don't know. Sengun. That's a pretty nice little 41-point projection for Sengun.
Yeah, I think he should smash these guys tonight. I really do. Really not a big fan of this Alvarado play that I'm stuck with right now. Wonder if I can find another 4,700 play that I can talk myself into because I really like the rest of the build.
Oh, there's KJ Martin, Tari Eason.
Yeah, that's what is going to pop up now is Martin. Right? Yeah, Martin. I think I might even do it in one lineup just because I have that exact amount. I didn't want to go out of my way to do it. I just was like, I had Alvarado as a filler piece, and I think I just would rather play Martin.
You know what I haven't done in a while?
What's
I haven't played FanDuel in a while. I'm not doing it tonight either. Just letting everybody know. Yeah, it's so funny. Weirdly with the Houston News, now I'm getting more like Indiana guys too. I don't know how this makes sense.
Because it allowed the build to even out, I think, a little bit. Everything can be mid tier with those. Like you can use a lot more in the mid tier. I mean,
now I'm getting the studs. Now I'm getting more Luka and Jokic.
Yeah.
Is Tari Eason? Can he do anything?
He's a good player. I mean, he's just young. They're just babies.
Is he gonna play?
Yeah, he plays every game.
Well, that's good. That's good enough for me, right?
But there's nothing special. Just remember, this is the exact same situation we've had every game for the Rockets. Nothing's different. So I am a little suspect on the Martin play that even though I'm making it, that doesn't feel
Right.
great. But I do think that it solidifies some more of the Şengün play. How about Eric Gordon with back-to-back 30 fantasy point games?
Amazing.
Eric Gordon at 4,500. You think that it's like something broke?
Right.
This guy's eternally 3,600. Hey, what's up, Forrest? Good to see you, man. I like the Sabonis too, Rody, for what it's worth. I really do. And I said I think that Shea is a viable run back if you're going to play like the 3 Indianas or something. But I actually think I would probably rather play Giddy just because it's so much.
I would.
Giddy's put up 50 in 3 out of the last 4 games, for Christ's sake. He's 7,500. It's still too cheap. He's a really good player.
What is he, 50? What is he, 12 years old too?
Yeah, he's only 12. I mean, the fact that he's averaging like over the last 10, almost like a very similar number to Shea, it's just interesting that naturally we want the big spend up on the way back. But this is, I mean, it's Giddy's team. Shea's team, don't get me wrong. But if you actually looked at the usage and everything, they're just as high on Giddy. Like,
boy, my big lineup has nobody from Houston.
Do you know who I just put in a lineup who I feel weird about, Sheets? And maybe you can give me your thoughts on this one. Because I ended up with 6,600 as a price, very strange price to end up with as a last piece at a forward, at either forward spot. And I sort of thought like, okay, RJ Barrett, we're not going to get that many chances to play him at 6,600, right?
Like I said, man, he plays 40 minutes and shoots it every time he touches the ball.
And he plays at home. And like at home, though, he also has like really good numbers on the season. I think that's a pretty good play. So I'm going to use it. I am not playing these Clippers much tonight. I'll tell you that. So Sheets, as you say, at least somebody's got to win. I do have Reggie Jackson in one of my big buy-ins, and that might be really fishy. Or it could end up being the chalk for whoever has got any players left, because if he starts, he would be the best projected player other than Nasri.
Oh, easily.
Like, who's initiating offense for this Clippers team? I mean, it's crazy. If they're going to really bring Powell and Jackson off the bench, your 2 best creators, it's like nobody offensively who can do anything except for Marcus Morris. I guess to some extent Zubac.
If I played Şengün, no. Well, if I did this, then, and you don't like Marcus Morris, huh?
No, I think it's fine. I think that all those guys, like all of them, I just think that there's a lot of them that are going to end up chopping into each other. So if I take a shot, I may as well take a shot on a guy like Reggie.
You know who? Boy, this guy. I want to suggest a guy who really hasn't done much. Actually, that's not true. He has 2 bad games, but how about just a weird, just random 5,200 play for Bogdan Bogdanović?
Thinking. I think that's okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have it. I mean, it's you're not going to have to be playing because everybody's they'll play Nembhard, you know, if they did play that range. I have Mathurin over Nembhard here, and I'm really struggling with this decision, what I want to do about that. Did you get to any Neesmith? Because I didn't, but I just thought I'd throw it out.
No, I tried. I didn't.
With McConnell there, we haven't seen the same Nembhard usage stuff. Like, I'm just trying to find other ways in that game. I think I'm going to leave it with the Mathurin and Hield together.
What am I doing here playing all this Jae'Sean Tate? I mean, seriously, this is like ridiculous.
Oh, Sabonis officially is questionable.
Uh-huh.
So Trey Lyles is the best thing you can do, like without knowing information, because he's actually rated as a pretty decent play anyway, I guess. But that is worrisome. Yeah, good point for us. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I might have to change my builds and start assuming that game is that's just going to be a thing because Trey Lyles now would become a really strong play, obviously.
He would be the guy.
Well, he's playing already the minutes, but the truth is, it probably would be Rashawn Holmes who started. Maybe, I don't know. They could no. They have Metu's back available now, so they can use Metu. I don't know what they're gonna. Actually, it's a tough one. We haven't seen all the same guys available. The weird part is it doesn't make I think Fox is a better play, obviously, but it's not I don't feel like I have to play him. I do think he's a good play though.
Nembhard, Alvarado, KJ Martin. All right, this looks a little bit better. Go back to McDaniels a little bit. A little Marcus Morris, but not that but much of a deal. Any Zubac?
I think it's fine.
Okay, this is actually better. Luke Kennard's not back, right?
No. All right, so I'm building a little hedge just in case. So I'm going to get I'm playing Jamal Murray, Fox, and Lyles, and Kessler in the later window just to give myself some swappability. Because I think that is the kind of news that does tend to go one way. Sabonis, to his credit, has played through more of these probably than most guys have.
He has.
But I think you just are there's just too much opportunity if you don't have spots available. At least some of if you're playing multiple lineups to leave
right
for it. And if not, you just even it out with the best projected plays. I mean, somebody else could be announced out too. It doesn't have to be Sabonis.
Coffee, Nembhard, Powell, Tate. Back to this lineup again, huh? So if I wanted to backload that Sacramento game, I mean,
I would go Fox, Lyles. And
yeah.
Jamal Murray's too cheap already, and he's in the 10 o'clock game. So I like those three as the way. And then if you get Sabonis officially out, you can play a LeBron, Fox, and either Holmes or Lyles or something if you want to. Christian Wood, I think, is totally fine. I didn't get to him myself today, for what it's worth.
Giddy. Neesmith, huh?
Just a name.
Has he done anything?
Yeah, just not as much lately. They have just a lot of bodies. You know what I mean? That's the truth. It's just hard to get them right because they have so many bodies.
Nembhard is 5,200. What can you get Giddy? Giddy's a guard, okay. Nembhard, Giddy. Is LeBron a bad play?
No, he's been great when he's played. First game after passing 38,000 at home. There's some positives there.
Wonder when we get that Sabonis confirmation.
That would be probably not at least till 9 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd say though, like with Len out too, like if Holmes is starting, then you really are missing out something. But I don't think necessarily it means everybody else has to go nuts, even though it's a good matchup. They still do have a lot of guys. Like I think it makes Malik Monk a better play. When you go through all the names who it benefits, there's just a lot of them. Like Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, Harrison Barnes, Herter, Fox are all going to play reasonable minutes, and then you get the Metu / Holmes minutes. But if the Lakers want to go small, they may not even need to play big. So it's just kind of a little shaky. Even if we had the news, unless we knew who was starting, I think it might be a little tough.
Like Sexton at all tonight? No, probably not.
The question about the Denver, other than Jokic, I think Porter and Murray are both at prices where you should be taking shots on them in tournaments. Who did you say, Sheets, about Porter?
I was talking about Sexton.
Oh. I actually kind of do like Sexton, but not enough to where I think I need to play it. Like, I think it's fine.
Is this okay?
Nice.
I don't.
Yeah, this Sacramento thing is going to be kind of a pain in the neck. I mean, I left a couple of spots open for later. I have a small forward spot. I have a guard spot. But then again, no, I don't have the late games. I only had the Clipper games. Shoot. So, like I said, I could put in Keegan Murray.
The play that doesn't really
change. See a forward somehow? That would be nice. Oh, he is. Okay, that's good. I'll put him in instead of freaking stupid Marcus Morris. And then I could also put in Malik Monk over there. So I got a couple of things I can do over there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to get going. Good luck, everybody. And again, if we get anything good, listen, I'm not shy about throwing my lobbies up there and seeing what's up. So we'll see how things are going a little later.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, buddy. Well, hopefully it goes well. Good luck to everyone tonight, and I'll be in Discord all night, guys. Any questions or anything come up, I'm around.
Okay.